The stars were quiet. Humanity believed they were safe. Across the galaxy, colonies lived in peace. Cities shined on strange new worlds. Children played under alien skies. Farmers grew crops in soil that once belonged to no one. Humanity was proud. They had survived wars, famine, and even the cold silence of space. At last, it felt like the universe belonged to them. But peace has a way of ending without warning. On the outer edge of human space, a deep space observatory detected shadows moving against the stars. At first, scientists thought it was an asteroid swarm. Then the shadows grew larger. Hundreds, then thousands. The data came too fast, too terrifying to believe. Someone whispered, "These are ships." Within hours, black shapes filled the skies above the largest human colony, New Terra. They were unlike anything humans had ever built. No lights, no markings, only jagged armor that looked more like bone than metal. The ships hung silent, as if waiting for the colony to take its last breath. People ran to their windows. Some recorded the sight. Others prayed. But the silence did not last. The first blast was brighter than a sun. Entire districts of New Terra disappeared in fire. Towers melted like wax. Oceans boiled. In seconds, millions were gone. The colony's defense grid tried to fire back, but the alien weapons tore through shields as if they were nothing. Humanity had prepared for pirates, for rebellion, for war among themselves. But no one had prepared for this. The aliens gave no warning, no message, no demand. Only destruction. Across the galaxy, news spread like a plague. Colony after colony reported the same story. The sudden arrival of the alien fleet, the sky turning red, the ground shaking, and then silence. Refugee ships tried to escape, but few made it out alive. Some were hunted in deep space. Others were left adrift, burning. On Earth itself, leaders gathered in panic. Generals demanded a counterattack. Scientists begged for more time. Civilians wanted answers. Who were these invaders? Why did they come? Why did they want humanity dead? But no answer came. The first battles were hopeless. Human fleets met the enemy in orbit. Brave pilots fought to the last, but the alien weapons shredded their ships in seconds. Soldiers reported nightmares, machines screaming as they died, enemies that moved faster than thought. One officer's last message was recorded: "They are not fighting us. They are erasing us." Survivors began to notice something strange. After destroying a colony, the aliens did not land. They did not take resources. They did not enslave survivors. They simply left burning ruins and moved on to the next world. It was as if humanity was not an enemy, but a stain to be cleaned. Whispers grew darker. Some said the aliens were exterminators. Others said they were executioners. In the ruins of New Terra, one small human scout ship survived by hiding inside the planet's shattered moon. Its crew recorded a strange signal from the alien fleet. The transmission was not aimed at humans. It was in a language no one understood. But the pattern of the sound was haunting. Not victory. Not war. It sounded like judgment. The crew risked everything to send the recording back to Earth before their ship was destroyed. That message would spread fear across every human colony. The aliens are not here to conquer. They are here to punish. But punish what? Humanity had never seen them before. There had been no first contact, no negotiations, no broken treaty. And yet, the invaders acted as though humanity's very existence was a crime. Every night, survivors stared at the stars, knowing the enemy was moving closer. Colony by colony, humanity was bleeding. Millions lost, cities burned, families torn apart. The once proud expansion of humankind was collapsing in silence and ash. And still, no one knew why. One thing became clear to every human watching the skies: this was not war. This was something far worse. Humanity was not facing conquerors. They were facing executioners sent by powers no one understood. In the shadows of ruined colonies, rumors spread. A soldier claimed he heard an alien voice whisper in his mind. A dying refugee said she saw the stars themselves turning away. And deep in a bunker on Earth, scientists studying the alien signal whispered the words that froze every heart. This is not an invasion. This is a sentence. The alien armada was endless. Every day, new worlds burned. Humanity had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And yet, in the middle of all this despair, one truth emerged. If this was punishment, then someone had to decide the crime. And maybe, just maybe, humanity could find a way to turn that judgment back on its judges. But for now, the stars belonged to the enemy. The arrival had come. The execution had begun. And the question haunted every survivor's mind. Why humanity? The galaxy was burning. Colony after colony fell to the alien fleet. Survivors were scattered, lost, and afraid. Humanity was bleeding, and yet the enemy showed no mercy. But something strange kept happening, something that troubled even the bravest soldiers. The aliens destroyed everything, but they never stayed. They did not harvest resources. They did not take prisoners. They did not build bases on human worlds. They came, they burned, and they vanished into the stars. It was not war. It was cleansing. On Earth, leaders demanded answers. In secret bunkers, scientists worked day and night, studying wreckage from the battles. A broken alien drone was recovered near Mars. Its design was terrifying, metal fused with bone-like structures, and circuits that looked alive. Some scientists refused to even touch it. But what truly shocked them was not the technology. It was the programming. The machine had one command written into its core. Erase humanity. No explanation. No reason. Only that command, repeated 1,000 times. Meanwhile, refugees from fallen colonies spoke of whispers. Survivors swore that during the attacks, they heard voices in their minds. Some were screams. Others were cold sentences, spoken in an alien tongue. But all described the same feeling, judgment. The whispers grew louder when the aliens struck again. The fleet descended on the colony of Helios Prime, one of humanity's oldest settlements. The defenders were ready this time. Hidden cannons, experimental shields, and thousands of soldiers stood prepared. But they never stood a chance. In less than an hour, Helios Prime was ash. The aliens moved like shadows, faster than any human ship could track. Yet something new happened that day. A small squadron of fighters captured one of the alien soldiers alive. It was dragged, wounded and chained, into a secure facility. The creature looked like stone and flesh fused together. Its eyes glowed faintly, like burning embers. It did not speak human languages, but when scientists tried to question it, the prisoner laughed. Through a translator device, the alien finally answered. You were not meant to rise. The room went silent. The scientists demanded more. The alien continued, its voice harsh and cold. Your kind is a mistake. You spread like fire. You break the balance. We are the blade. We cut away the infection. The meaning was clear. To them, humanity was not a civilization. Humanity was a disease. But the alien's tone was not prideful. It was heavy, almost fearful. One scientist noticed the soldier's hands shaking, its glowing eyes dimming. When asked why humanity must be destroyed, the alien hesitated. Then it whispered, if you resist, if you endure, you will awaken what sleeps. No one understood. What was sleeping? What danger could be greater than extermination? Before more could be learned, the alien soldier collapsed and died, its body dissolving into ash as if it had never existed. The humans were left with only questions. Still, hope was not lost. Across the galaxy, small groups of survivors began striking back. Guerrilla fighters used old freighters as weapons. Hidden scientists created experimental energy cores. Humanity was desperate, and desperation gave birth to courage. Then, something extraordinary happened. A colony long thought destroyed, Arclight Station, suddenly sent out a signal. Against all odds, survivors had endured the alien attack. But not only that, they had discovered something. A new kind of power, drawn from the wreckage of alien ships. Energy that did not belong to human science. Energy that felt alive. When human fleets tried to reconnect with Arclight Station, they found something impossible. Alien weapons that once cut through ships with ease now struggled against the survivors. Human guns glowed with stolen alien energy. For the first time, alien fleets were pushed back. But the victory was strange. Alien ships did not fight harder. Instead, they hesitated. They retreated. Almost afraid. Messages intercepted between alien fleets spoke of warnings. They called humanity the cursed ones. They feared that in trying to erase humankind, they had done something far worse. They had awakened the very punishment they once feared. And yet, humanity had no idea what that punishment was. Back on Earth, scientists replayed the alien prisoner's last words. If you endure, you will awaken what sleeps. Now, survivors of Arclight Station claimed their new power had come from something buried deep inside the alien machines. Something not built, but bound. Something waiting. The truth was clear. The aliens had not come to conquer humanity. They had come to prevent something hidden within humanity from waking. But in their slaughter, in their cruelty, they had done the very thing they feared most. And now, it was too late to stop it. Cliffhanger ending for Part 2. The broadcast from Arclight Station ended with a scream, followed by silence. When Earth reconnected minutes later, the station was gone. Not destroyed. Not captured. Simply vanished, along with every survivor. The war was supposed to be simple. The alien fleet would erase humanity as they had erased countless others before. World after world would burn, and silence would remain. That was the way it had always been. But this time, something was different. The more they struck, the stranger the galaxy became. It began with whispers among alien soldiers. Ships that had once obeyed perfectly began to disobey. Engines failed without reason. Weapons jammed in the middle of battle. Some crews vanished, leaving only empty ships drifting through the void. At first, commanders blamed human sabotage. But soon, it was clear, this was not the work of humanity. Something else was moving through the stars. On the colony ruins of Helios Prime, alien scouts landed to confirm extermination. What they found was terrifying. The ground cracked open, glowing with red fire. From the ruins, shadows rose that did not belong to any human. The scouts tried to call for help, but their voices dissolved into static. Hours later, when the rescue fleet arrived, every scout ship was gone. Only their armor remained, scattered like ash on the wind. Reports from other colonies followed. Strange storms over burned planets. Machines turning against their masters. Alien soldiers hearing voices in the dark, voices that cursed them in human tongues. The punishment had begun. For humanity, the change was slow at first. Survivors hiding in bunkers noticed that alien patrols grew weaker. Human weapons, once useless, now cut through alien armor. Refugee ships that should have been destroyed somehow slipped past blockades. It was as if the universe itself was tilting in humanity's favor. But for the alien empire, it was nightmare. Colonies that had never known defeat began collapsing. Crops withered, skies filled with fire, and their once perfect technology rotted in their hands. Whole cities fell silent overnight. The greatest shock came when an alien fleet tried to regroup near one of their strongholds. Before they could even prepare, the very stars above them began to shiver. A black storm, vast and endless, swallowed the entire system. When it cleared, nothing remained. Not a single ship. Not a single world. Human scientists intercepted fragments of alien transmissions. Panic, screaming, and one repeated phrase. The sentence has turned. For the first time, the predators were the prey. And yet, humanity had not done this. They were too weak, too broken to strike such blows. No human weapon could burn stars or collapse cities from afar. The punishment was not human. It was something older, something hidden in the fabric of the universe. Some believed it was the will of the stars themselves. Others whispered of ancient guardians, silent until now. But most agreed on one thing: the aliens had brought this upon themselves. By slaughtering billions of humans, they had awakened the very force they feared. Alien commanders, once proud, now trembled. Desperate fleets attempted to communicate with humans. In broken messages, they begged for a ceasefire. They offered surrender. But their pleas were too late. Wherever they went, the punishment followed. On Earth, survivors watched transmissions of alien cities cracking apart, oceans rising to drown continents, and towers falling like sand. The same destruction humanity had suffered was now unleashed on the enemy. For some humans, it was justice. For others, it was terrifying. Because if this punishment was not under human control, then who, or what, was deciding the fate of civilizations? One refugee ship reported a chilling encounter. As they drifted through space, they saw an alien dreadnought torn open by unseen hands. From its ruins, a voice echoed through every human mind on board. The words were clear, in simple English. "They bled you. Now they shall bleed." The ship's captain swore the voice did not come from any machine. It came from the stars themselves. Soon, alien soldiers began to abandon their commanders. Entire battalions dropped their weapons, surrendering to human survivors. Some knelt, others cried out in fear. They no longer spoke of exterminating humanity. Instead, they whispered of curses, of doom, of a punishment that could not be stopped. But humanity was not merciful. Too many lives had been lost, too many worlds destroyed. The survivors watched their once invincible enemy crumble, and they did not forget the fire, the screams, the ash. The galaxy was changing. Every colony the aliens built was now under attack. Not by humans, but by the very force they had awakened. What once was order had become chaos. What once was power had become fear. And yet, no one knew how far the punishment would go. Would it stop with the aliens? Or would it turn its gaze upon humanity next? Cliffhanger ending for Part 3. On the edge of known space, a human scout ship recorded something impossible. An alien capital world, home to billions, was cracking apart like glass. From the fracture, a vast shadow emerged, something older than stars, something watching. The recording ended with a single word whispered across the void. More. The galaxy was silent. Where once alien fleets had moved like storms, now there was only wreckage drifting in the void. Their colonies, once shining with power, had become graveyards. Towers cracked. Oceans boiled. Cities turned to dust. Human survivors watched it happen from the shadows. The enemy that had seemed unstoppable was now broken, scattered, afraid. The punishment had shattered everything they had built. But victory did not feel like triumph. On ruined worlds, human refugees walked through alien cities abandoned overnight. Empty streets stretched for miles. Machines stood frozen, their lights gone. And everywhere, there was a sense of something unseen, watching. Survivors whispered that the punishment was not finished. It was still hungry. On Earth, leaders argued. Some wanted to chase the enemy, to destroy what little remained of their empire. Others wanted to hide, to pray the punishment would not turn against humanity. No one truly understood what was happening. They only knew one truth: the aliens had brought this fate upon themselves. A prisoner, one of the last alien commanders captured alive, finally spoke. His voice was weak, broken by fear. "We warned you. We begged our masters to leave your kind alone. But they would not listen. Now the sentence is ours." When asked what he meant, the alien only shook his head. His final words haunted every human who heard them. "The punishment does not stop. It spreads." Then his body crumbled into ash, like all the others. Meanwhile, across the stars, alien survivors begged humanity for protection. Fleets that once hunted humans now fled toward human space, seeking refuge. But humanity remembered the fire, the screams, the billions lost. Some worlds opened their doors, offering mercy. Others turned away, leaving the aliens to face the same silence they once forced upon humanity. The universe seemed to agree. Every alien colony that still stood soon fell. Not to human guns, but to the same unseen force that had followed them since New Terra burned. Skies cracked, storms tore cities apart, and shadows swallowed their proudest worlds. For the first time in history, humanity stood where once only gods had stood. Not because of their own power, but because something greater had chosen to destroy their enemies. But was this truly salvation? Or was it only the beginning of another nightmare? Survivors began to notice strange changes. Human ships powered by stolen alien cores hummed with a new energy. Weapons glowed brighter. Shields lasted longer. Even the wounded healed faster inside the light of these strange machines. Some whispered that humanity was no longer entirely human, that they were being shaped by the same force that had punished the aliens. In hidden bunkers, scientists studied fragments of alien transmissions. The same words appeared again and again. The cursed ones. The seed of judgment. The universe bends for them. It became clear. Humanity had not been the target of destruction because of what they had done. They were hunted for what they might become. The punishment was not simply revenge. It was balance. A force written into the stars themselves. Whenever humanity bled, the universe made their enemies bleed more. The aliens had feared this truth, and their fear had doomed them. Now, humanity stood at a crossroads. Broken but alive. Shattered but unbowed. They had lost billions, but they had survived the storm that was never meant to be survived. And in their survival, the galaxy had changed forever. On the edge of known space, where the last alien colony once stood, explorers found only silence. But in that silence, they heard something. A voice. Not human, not alien, but older than time. It whispered. They tried to erase you. They became the erased. You are not finished. You are chosen. The message spread across every surviving colony. Some celebrated, believing humanity had been blessed. Others trembled, fearing the punishment might one day fall upon them as well. But all agreed on one truth: humanity was no longer just another race among the stars. They were something more. The final alien stronghold collapsed under storms of fire. Their empire ended not with a war, but with silence. And in that silence, humanity rose again. Children played under ruined skies. Families rebuilt homes from ashes. Fleets gathered in orbit, not to flee but to explore once more. For the first time in years, there was hope. Yet, deep within every survivor's heart, a question remained. Was the punishment truly over? Or had it only just begun? Final closing line. The aliens made humanity bleed, but in the end, their punishment shattered every colony they built. And though humanity endured, the stars now whispered of a destiny far greater, and far more dangerous.